Welcome back to the Lexi's Leukemia channel. Today, we're making a recycled bird feeder for school.
Well, welcome back to our channel, Lexi's Leukemia Warrior family. We have got another school project coming at you. So if you remember, I think the last school project we showed you was Lexi's pumpkin book report, and we made Grover. So this time, in honor of Earth Day, which was yesterday, they're having us make, if you want, something out of something that's recycled. So we drink, Lexi drinks oat milk because she cannot handle regular cow's milk anymore since chemo, and she likes the taste of oat milk. So we have these cartons laying around, so I have rinsed it out and cleaned this. And then the plan is to turn this into a bird feeder. So we're going to paint it, and I've taken where the hole was and just flipped that inside. And what we're going to do is, after we paint it, glue on popsicle sticks like this to make a little overhang for the shade. And then we have this dowel rod that we're gonna push all the way through. And then where the dowel rod sticks out on either side, we're gonna cut a rectangular hole so that way the birds can get at the bird seed. And we picked a blend that is great for lots of birds. It's called safflower seeds, but supposedly squirrels do not like safflower seeds. We will see, but squirrels are usually the enemies of bird feeders. So, and a recycled one would be really easy for a squirrel. And then we have this twine that we are going to poke a hole in the top and use it to hang in a tree. And we actually have a woodpecker in our front yard that sits in a tree and pecks pretty often. And he's got a little hole in there that whenever he's spooked or wants to go inside in the shade, he just crawls right into his hole in the tree and he's good to go. So maybe he will enjoy the treats that we are going to leave him in this bird feeder. So the first thing we're going to do is paint the whole entire bird feeder. So I usually do foil pans, as you know. Did not have any this time, so I decided to spend the $4 to buy a pack of these little paint palettes. We got a couple. There's like 2 or 3 in there, and you can rinse these off and reuse. So I think over time that might save you money. But if you have a foil pan or a paper plate, you could use whatever you have. So we are going to get all set up with the paint, and then we'll see you in a minute. So we've got our paint all set up here on the paint palette. Lexi has decided she wants to do this yellow color, which I'm just using the apple barrel paint you can get from Walmart. This is number 21473E, Pale Daffodil, and we bought the matte because we're sealing with a clear sealer, and that's also matte. You don't want it to be like super shiny, I don't think. We don't want to scare the birds away. So she's going to paint the whole thing in yellow, and then she's going to have me go along behind her with the matte Apple Barrel Lilac Mist, number 21388E, and she wants me to paint on purple little flowers. And she's probably not the best at that yet, so I told her I'd be happy to do that. But she is going to do this. So we will include a montage sped up of her painting this little thing. So go ahead, Lex. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and open this other. right, so Lexi did a great job. I helped her a teeny tiny bit, but she got the first coat on there. So now the trick is to let this dry, and then we're gonna have to do another coat because we don't want to see all the graphics and writing that was on the side of the carton underneath the paint. So we'll be back as soon as this is all dry. So we are all done with this. Lexi and I together, we've had to do 3 coats. We ended up getting the hair dryer to dry the coats in between because it just makes things go faster than letting it air dry, especially when you don't have a lot of time. So now what Lexi wants me to do is to paint on the flowers because she doesn't feel comfortable doing that, and I can understand. So I'm just gonna kind of paint little petal flowers all over the sides, and I'm gonna do one side, and then I'm gonna hair dry it so it will dry, and then I'll do another side. And I've got these 2 paintbrushes here to use for that. So I went ahead and washed my little palette because acrylic just washes off with water. So soap and water is your friend. It'll come right off your hand. As you can see, I've got some on my hands. Okay. Once you get it all out of there, then you can start. It's a little stringy, I don't know. I shook it up, but sometimes if the paint has been sitting on the shelves for a while at the store, especially with the supply chain issues going on right now, who knows? There it goes. All right, so let's get started. I don't want too much paint on my brush. And I'm gonna leave this top blank because that's where we're going to put the popsicle sticks. I guess technically we would have just had to paint this little top ridge yellow, but that way if there's any gaps in the popsicle stick somehow, you'll see yellow underneath and not the carton, just in case. Alright, so that's my very first rudimentary flower. It's going to need more coats and it's going to need to dry. So I'm going to paint a few on this side and get them dried, and then we'll see how it looks. So I've got one whole side painted. Obviously it needs more than 1 coat, but that's just a first coat. And then I'm going to blow dry it real fast and do another coat and see if I can get one whole side done, and then I'll move on to the next. Finally got all the flowers painted on. So we've got about 3 coats for the yellow, and then most of the flowers were 3 coats, some of them were 4 coats, so we've got them all on there. So now the plan is to put rectangles in the center of this side and this side, cut out rectangles, because this is where the overhang is going to hang off right there, and then the dowel rod's going to go in the bottom there, like straight through. So we need to cut our rectangles, and I thought in order to try to make them as similar as possible, I'll use a ruler and mark where I need to cut, so that way I do the same on both sides. So do you know how to read a ruler, Lexi? This side is in inches, okay, and the other side is in centimeters, but we use inches here in America. So that's what we're going to use. So we need to figure out how far down and how far over we want our rectangle. we've got our little hole, you can see people. We've got it on both sides. And so now the plan is that we're gonna mark where we want the dowel rod to go, and then we're gonna stick it through, make a little cut and stick it through the hole. We might put a little glue, I don't know, to kind of seal around the hole, because we're gonna seal the whole thing with clear coat actually before we do that. So and then we're gonna let it dry, and then we're gonna stick everything through. But we kind of want everything to be waterproof, so we're gonna let the sealer get on the popsicle sticks too, because I just don't know how they would do getting wet. So we're going to measure again. So where do you want this thing to be? There we go. Sort of even, close enough. And that will be a thing for the birds to sit on. So now we're gonna stick a little bit of this super glue we got inside the holes. We do not want this sliding around and coming loose. Now, all we have left to do is put the popsicle sticks on the top.
I thought we were going to paint them.
I think we're just going to leave them as wood, because they're going to get clear coated, so they do not. So this is super glue. We cannot touch this with our hands, okay?
Yeah, or stick to your hands.
That's right. All right, so we have the other side done, clamped, and it's drying. So this is basically what our bird feeder is going to look like. And then I'm going to do a small little hole here in the top.
So we can put this. Beautiful.
Ta-da!
Cool.
So there's what it looks like. Now all we have left to do
Let's put the frame. Oh yeah, and do that. Yeah, do that.
if I could put this on. We're gonna put this clear acrylic sealer over it.
So it does not come off just in case if it's raining on Monday.
Right. Maybe get back over there. I don't want to just get on you.
Okay, I'll go back.
I'm gonna try to spray the inside too, because you don't want the inside. All right, Lexi's little birdhouse is all done. So all that's left to do is put the bird seed in the bottom, which we will do after she's taken to school. We'll put a little Ziploc bag of the bird seed in there, and we will be good to go. And then when it's done being displayed at the school, we can bring it home and hang it out in a tree somewhere. Or we've got a hook that we can hang it, like if we wanted to hang a hanging basket or something, we could hang that on our front porch too, so you can see it out the window. So this little project turned out cute, didn't it, Lexi?
Yeah.
So some of it she could help with, like the painting, and some of it I had to do because it's sharp. But she did help shop for all the things. And she painted the yellow on the bottom. And the flowers turned out cute, I think. And everything's now got a clear coat on it. So hopefully that'll leave it a little bit waterproof. We shall see. Anyway, what do you want to tell everybody, Lexi?
Subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we upload another video. Bye.